As it turns out, there are 35 There are 35 days in the 12th month. Huh. That's a little weird. Why is there an additional week? Is the game ever going to explain that? Maybe not. It's been like over a year since we became king, I guess. Look at this place. Look how lovely it is. Look how colourful it is. It's nice seeing this place with a bit of colour. There's a Powerpuss kid up there. They're doing some drawing.
Come on.
How many times does it have to sneak out the palace? I've lost count. Make sure we see Maria before we head back with her, okay? You know, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. But does it feel like we've kind of flipped? What do you mean? Care to elaborate? Go on.
I think.
No, usually it's us fairies who go off on our own all the time, and humans are always shaking their fists at us going, not you humans. But here I am struggling to keep the king of the whole dang country in one place for a few seconds. Catch my drift? No.
Well,
Not that I'm complaining. I like that about you, to be honest. I appreciate you too, Gallica.
About that.
Hey, why are you using the past tense? We've got our whole lives ahead of us, right? Okay, yeah, don't do a Persona 3. I couldn't take it. Remember how you would hit the streets to hear everyone's struggles during a tournament? I bet that's why you have the support you do in Monterio and Oceania.
guess.
I don't mind getting dragged around all over the place, but if you're going to sneak out, all I ask is that you don't leave me behind, okay? But everything and tag along no matter what, promise me. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get going, Your Majesty.
All right.
Can I fast travel?
Where to?
No. Oh, look at all these places. Yeah, as I would have thought, there's many people waiting outside. What about in the inn? We got this. We're going to get it all done now.
Cheers.
Isn't His Majesty in the flesh? Visiting the honeybee again. You're quite the whimsical one, aren't you? I doubt you still need someone to covertly sniff around in order to supply you with information, but I must say it was a pleasure doing business with you. I can understand why Alonso likes you so much. Yeah, it's good that Alonso isn't dead. I wouldn't be able to take it. I'll probably cry. Look at the power person here enjoying food. Yeah, it's the same dialogue, okay. Not everything has changed. Can I go to the Gauntlet Runner?
Right.
I sure as hell can. Oh, can I go to the toilet? It is Idol's Day! Oh my god, one more toilet visit.
All right then.
One more toilet visit for good luck. The fate that the king of our country could sneak out to my tavern without so much as a single bodyguard with him. You never change, do you? But the city hasn't changed either. Some say the world isn't as safe as one might hope it would be under your rule. Still, why don't you pay Maria a visit before you head out to the palace? Definitely make her day. I'm not your Mary. So you're Maria. Wait, I never did get permission to enter this room. You never did. Maybe you would have if you kept trying. I have fond memories sleeping here. Okay, there's a bunch of flavor text we're going to get as we go across Grand Trad. One more time for good luck. We'll head to the Gauntlet Runner manual. Like we're going to go across the city manual. I'm not going to teleport around all over the place by doing this.
Come now.
When you finish your business outside the palace, please promise you'll return to resume your duties, Your Majesty. If you take this as my pressuring you not to venture out, that's not it at all. Only that as a captain of the Royal Guard, I must know your whereabouts at all times. So like the Under in this game. I am getting like Undertale, like epilogue vibes from this, like just running around the town and doing all this stuff before we finish off the game. Wow, the formality. Well, that is, think of your station. How else would we knights captain address the land's king? To be over-familiar would set a poor example. It mentioned the scandalous faces of the rank and file guard.
Of course.
That said, not a day goes by that I don't reflect on that chapel is now only a year past. I owe regaining my pride as a knight to that journey. I was but a wanderer, searching in vain for the footprints, and it was through you I learned he yet lived, and in the end, it was your ascent to the throne I supported.
And so.
I never tired the faces the young soldiers make when I tell them of the time you acted as witness to my duel. Ah, for dump, brings up memories. Yeah, that time he took like a really powerful move, like a champ, and he just didn't care at all. He didn't even flinch. I feel kind of bad I barely used you in the final boss, Hulkenberg. Like, you were probably the least useful character, unfortunately. Fucking Heismay came in clutch. So did Stroll in spots. But I'm also going to hold Stroll back because he missed on the final boss. On the final hit. Not only of my duties of Verdammt, but the journeys we undertook. You were the reason I could enjoy the fight to the end. I'm pleased to say the knights of today are nothing like what they were under Verdammt's command. Soldiers take up their sword not for those in power, but for the people. And as for the champion of the people yourself, we will do all in our power to protect you, our king.
Well,
You do not make it easy by sneaking out of the palace as you do, though I suspect the soldiers are getting used to your chaotic tendencies. They know they protect not just a king, but a ruler who stands beside his people, and hears their voices in clarion truth.
this
I will protect you with my life, as I have always endeavored to, your majesty. Only let me stay by your side to do so.
What do you want to do?
Thank you, Hulkenberg. You've been a startling companion. I guess we can take this moment to kind of talk about Hulkenberg. I really enjoyed her as a character. You know, one of the things that I enjoy about this metaphor compared to other RPGs, like Persona 3 for example, is everyone is different ages. Everyone's from different age brackets. Heismay, Hulkenberg. And as a character, I really enjoyed her. I thought that her addition to, you know, the comedy aspect of this game, her indulgences in food, her fanboyism around Yuna, and the fact that she was there for Yuna's, archetype awakening was kind of cool. That didn't really happen with any others, for the most part. I think that she is a great character, and I loved having this kind of royal knight on our side, and her emotions during the part where she thought the prince was dead generally got to make me feel miserable as well, so good job. A-star character. Metaphor. Good job. Oh, yeah, Isn't I haven't forgotten. You're the king now, aren't you? The first time I saw you was the night before the royal funeral, if I recall. No offense, but you didn't look like a prince. You also had, like, entirely different hair and different coloured eyes. To think you'd go on to take down the notorious Luis and seize the crown for yourself. Couldn't make up a story if I tried. Speaking of wild stories, can you do something about Sunshade Row? What's bothering you? Well, you know, the rep of old Sunshade Row has poor, dirty, but people still going to put food on the table here. Has been for a long time. You're a good bloke, and I think you make a fine king, but don't think you can just spruce the place up a bit and that'll solve the problem. Doesn't mince words, but I'm glad he's being honest at least. Yeah, I'll get on it, don't worry. Well, we will. I'm signing out like I said earlier. Oh, it's the guy who we did the mustery stuff with.
So, we
That's you. It's been quite some time, hasn't it? Ever since the GNU King's reign, matters have changed a great deal for the tribe's teachings. Feel there's been more people who wish to learn about teachings and culture, much like you once did. There's still a dream among the clouds for a moment. Open-minded like you. I try to be as open-minded as possible. Oh hey! She's outside!
It's just too much.
Oh my god, it's the guy! You lived with a giant sandworm to research bugs! Quite right! And god beetles from all over the kingdom as well. Insects are vital to understanding the essence of magic. And here I thought their only use was disgusting Martyrian cuisine. What a find! Say, what would you say to leading your wisdom to my shop? We can do business in the open now, thanks to the king. Ho ho ho! I am gratified by the offer and never supports my research. Never did find out it was golden beetles, to be fair. Oh my goodness! This guy! Oh! I love him. I've never seen this creature before in the entire game. Has it always been here? Wow! Little fluffy little guy. Can I give it pets? Yeah, that's gonna have to do. I love that. The guy. I will say that the whole like poop apocalypse part was probably the worst part of the game, but also, you know, that being the low point is definitely a high point for this game, considering that would be the high point of other games, I guess. Has this been? It hasn't been gotten rid of. Why is it still here?
This place.
Yeah, but why are they? I feel like that would be one of the first things we would get rid of is the gallows.
This is all right.
I am glad that not everything is good. There's still some negativity out there.
Oi.
I guess the kind of sad people never really went anywhere. But that could also be a sign of them like giving in to their anxiety maybe and becoming a human. Like their maglar was causing them to feel even worse maybe. Hello, sir. What are you doing here?
Pleasure to see you.
Why, hello, your majesty. It's only been a year since your coronation, but I see you've become quite apt to sneaking away from your palatial duties. Under constant fire from knaves of all trades, con artists and critics alike. Your opening act has been rather tumultuous, no? It's been tough going, I would say.
But
Quite right. Your critics are loud and open with their barbs, but plenty more have put their faith in you. Besides, most of those agitators are the kind of scum that stirs the pot in hopes that they might benefit from the country's turmoil. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course. All in a day's work for the royal adjutant to the Citizens' Council. Quite an ally I've made, I should hope.
hey,
I wonder if my mother would be the slightest bit proud to see who I've become. That I'm doing my damnedest to use my talents for good, as I always should have. I'm sure she would. There's no doubt in my mind.
yes.
I hope so. I was such a problem child. I like to make this a country where honest folk like my mother can be happy.
Now that you mention it,
That reminds me. Do you remember Dataram, my hometown landowner? He told me to send you his regards. He's since confessed his crimes and is awaiting trial. You were the one who awakened his conscience. Makes sense, doesn't it? You've proven your ideals to be true. That's why the country is doing so well. There's nothing more to do to it.
thank you.
I'm hardly qualified to speak of pride, but if the country has won, it's you. And I am proud to be among its people. Perhaps under your rule, the day will come that even we Nydia can walk about freely in our true forms. I would hope so. You're curious what I look like in my true form. I'd be happy to oblige, but let's save that for Twitter, shall we?
This place is
Everyone is here. Oh my god, look at Basilio, look how good he looks. Your Majesty, what are you doing in this thing called... Yeah, I guess the gallows would stay here.
This place is
I'm kind of sad they are still here, but it makes sense to a certain extent, maybe. I can't press LB anymore, by the way, that's done. Requests? Oh, it shows on my ended quest now, because I finished everything. We'll start with Heisme, and then we'll go to Basilio. Well, I see the king is out on some personal business, eh? I believe Hulkenberg... Okay, what's the voice? I believe Hulkenberg was searching for you. But I suppose it's none of my business who comes or goes. I'm on break myself. Only try not to frustrate your royal guards over much, They all take their duties quite seriously, much like their captain. But who am I kidding? A knight who smiles is surely a myth. That's become clear to me since becoming titled. What could be more bizarre? A Yugif outcast, once a wanted criminal with a bounty on his head, made knight commander. There was, of course, some opposition at first, but the more heart-to-heart talks I've had, the more accepting they've become, albeit gradually. An outcast became King 2, you know.
True.
Indeed. You face no shortage of persecution, and look at you now. Grand titles and posts across the nation are no different, spread across all the tribes. I've realized over the past year just how much a nation is defined by its people. No matter how great a king, he alone does not a country make.
However,
Yet he stands for those very people, as symbol and representative. That the king and those around him are a mixed tribe, it has already caused a great shift in sentiment, even for those in the rural villages. Yeah, how is Tadari? Yeah, I wanted to know.
yes.
He seems as busy as he can handle now that they've resumed trade with other villages. Your coronation inspired that village to greater heights. It proved that barriers can be broken, and that they can take the first step. New winds are blowing in every corner of this country. I have to make another trip back home with my son to see the changes for myself. Soon enough. And someday, I hope distant generations will grow up only knowing conflict born of tribal differences from history
We
books.
shall.
We've a way to go before that day comes, but until it does, let us forge the path toward it, Your Majesty. I didn't talk about Alonso, I just realised that. I kind of surmised Alonso's quest before when I finished this thing, but I liked how twisty and turny it was. I didn't like how it originally ended with the game implying that self-sacrifice is the only option sometimes, but then they later went back on there and they're like, no, he didn't actually die. He's good. And I'm glad they didn't do that, because I think the whole idea of self-sacrifice being the only possible way forward is something that I don't get behind at all. This happened in Final Fantasy 14 too recently, and I just don't... Like, there's other options than that when it comes to that, maybe. And it makes sense with, like, that, because like they're not going to be thinking rationally, but Alonso is a very rational-speaking person, so it just felt weird for him to go down that route and thinking he had to die to make any change. And now Heismay. What do I think of Heismay? I think he's great. He definitely became a little underused in the second half of the game compared to other characters. He was just kind of there along for the ride. Even Stroll got more to do, and Hulkenberg. But his appearance early on in the game made the Materia stuff even better. The Materia stuff wasn't bad, but the second he appeared, I was a lot more interested in it. I love his design. I think the UK for the best designed race outside of the Nidia. Very unique, very cool. It's like Atlas now have their signature, unique race for their flagship series, like how Xenoblade has the Nopon. And his whole storyline with his son is so sad, but so sweet as well, as he comes to terms with their loss. And it's nice to see him come back after that. He's definitely one of the hearts of this game. I see a lot of people comparing him to Uncle Iroh from Last Airbender, and I can kind of see it. He's a little different, admittedly. I like that he isn't an entirely perfect individual either. Like, he hated Basilio and Fidelio when they first joined because the power persuades is what got his son killed. Oh, my voice. Right. Speaking of.
Yo.
Hey, out inspecting again. Seems a right pain to me, but I appreciate you going to all the effort. Making your rounds, Basilio.
Hey.
Yeah, Captain of the Trading. Oh my god, my voice is like, too much talking today, I know. And I'm pleased to report there's nothing to report, Your Majesty, so I'm taking a break. Bit of a mouthful in it. Still not used to call myself a captain besides. We're even taking in some survivors from Luis's troops, but don't you worry. I've got two eyes on them when I'm not looking. Where I see it, they weren't the ones trying to make the world worse. Just gotta show them how power is supposed to be used, yeah? We owe it to you that there's less discrimination in the city these days. Fewer and fewer turn to a life of crime to make ends meet. If Dell could see Grandchild today, his eyes would bug out. And not just Dell, a lot of the guys didn't make it. Like Vinka. I wish they could have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. But as long as we keep it in our memory, it's as close to saving them as we can get. Vinka included. We built this piece with a lot of blood and tears. So I say those of us who made it this far owe it to all of them what didn't to protect it. Maybe I've got nothing to report today, but it's not like bad people to stop being bad because you're king now.
Thank you.
You've been through a lot though, so thanks for not giving up on us, or the world for that matter. You spot any trouble that I didn't spot first, just point me at it, I'll solve it quick like. Basilio and Fidelio were massive anchors for a good portion of this game. Loved their storyline. I love them as they're probably the two best written characters in this game in my opinion. When they come to their background and just what happens with them. Fidelio losing his life, sacrificing himself for a Clemmer family of Sanctus, and then Basilio moving on and trying to find his purpose in the world. I love how down to earth they are. I love how different and how they act as like your usual like sidekick-esque characters until they suddenly get a massive glow up in personality. It definitely subverted my expectations. I kind of had an idea that one of them would become Party member and one of them would probably die. Still did not make it any worse. That whole Saints Day part of the game was crazy. I wouldn't, like, honestly, this ending might be my favorite part of the game, but I do also think the Saints Day was incredibly well done. Like, so many twists put in there. Yes, I'm not a big fan of how they condensed the Mage Academy stuff, but we'll get to that when we get to Yuna.
I sure don't want to go back to the old king.
I'm just incredulous. Oh.
Everyone's suspicious. Okay, I do want to do this child because this child... Okay, no, I said that really wrong. I want to read the dialogue for this child because they've been changing their dialogue across the entire game, basically. Well, Elder, you really became king. King, hey king, oh king. Aww. He's changed so much. How adorable.
All very nice.
Yeah. Well, we know Brigitte was going to help probably as well. Hello, Julian.
Well, well.
Oh, Your Majesty, running around Sunshade Yo at this time of year. You must have some very particular tastes. Perhaps you've heard there's unrest across the land as the oppressed are rising up in revolt against their oppressors.
Yes.
Or perhaps the news hasn't reached your walled garden here in Grand Trad. History books may not be kind in this era. You mean me, right? Goodness, you truly are dense. Don't you realize how your dangerous ideology has become the spark of new threats? Yes, and we're gonna deal with them. We don't need to worry about that, buddy. The dim-witted of the world only fan the flames of their anxiety, be it people or monsters. To be dissatisfied is in their nature. Oh, very good. I'm glad you provided some optimism for us.
You're kidding.
Oh, it's been a while. You must remember me. I'm Sergeant Gleason the Great. I don't remember him, chat. End of the year and all, so why wouldn't I be? And Gang has got a fine selection of ales too. It'd be a shame not to make the most of it. But you know, I've been trying to cut back actually. When we'd lost Fidelio, God... Oh, it's him! Now I remember who he was.
Oh, I guess.
Forgot about the whole Chargerius plotline. That was a really cool dungeon. I liked how different it was. I was like, all the dungeons felt different. Like the first was a proper like Persona dungeon with the plot and the Gladel. Not the Gladel, Zorba being there. Mateo was like a stealth dungeon almost and had like a prison part in it. And then that whole the night captain just died and he never came back. He just dies in that random dungeon. The Chargerius and how it wasn't even really a dungeon. It was you trying to fight mini-bosses and working out their weaknesses, making your way up through the ranks of the popularity of the Chargerius. It was really cool. And then the Dragon Temple, a massive, sprawling dungeon. So many odds and bits and ends and weird parts of the ears, the mystery maze, the labyrinths. Really cool dungeon. And then finally Royal Palace with its intricate design in terms of popularity and using the mini-bosses and the soul collectors, anxiety collectors, to kind of boost the plot forward through kind of elude a narrative almost. And then obviously the final one we did today, Torment the... What was it? The Dictator's Star, Dictator's Star, whatever it's called. We did that too. Okay, well, we're generous of you. Not sure if they did. Plus, with Robert's hello charge, I'm feeling right at home. I like that he's taken in his pocket all the people from Luis's squad. I think that's a good bit of cat. I kind of wish he became a cook, but this also makes sense. Look how pretty it is now.
Thank you kindly.
I'd like to know how it looked before, but I've forgotten.
Welcome.
Thank you kindly. Boy there.
We'll be free from politics momentarily.
Oh, but which action to
That Mustari really cute. He's rather easy on the eyes, wouldn't you say? I do want to see it, Denny. He might be with you for though.
Excuse me. It's just too much.
That'd be lovely.
my god, they're becoming like gossip sisters. Nice. Right, we're gonna go to San Lumio Street first, and then go to the Grand Cathedral area.
This place is brilliant.
This is cute. I'm liking how everything's coming back together. It kind of, you know, takes away the point for me doing a credits review, considering it is all here. I'll do a short one at the end, I think.
Oh,
Wonder how things are going. Still myself in the... It is true. Flowery speeches can create issues, but we're trying our best to change things, I think.
oi.
Oh my god, look at the Gauntlet Runner. Oh, it's been like completely redone. Nice, what have we done to it?
Amazing. Ha!
An elder. Now, how did I wind up here?
Amazing. Ha!
There might be a chance I break up this final episode into 3 episodes, depending on how long this takes. But we'll see. I might just make it a really long one, but there's a chance it might break it up. Oh yeah, the runner fanatic. You keep following your Gauntlet Runner dreams, buddy. Aww.
Amazing.
I would like to go on my Gauntlet Runner. One final piss. Oh, home sweet home.
All right.
Yes! The true final time! Is my luck going to increase by 1?
Right.
That's fine, it didn't have to. Maybe not now. I'm glad they let me use the toilet one more time. And the pantry. The warehouse is neat and tidy. I didn't find anything. That journey is over. Why would we find anything? It's almost like it was always restocked just for us. Maybe not now. We did our best on that journey to make the most of the few meals we had, showing nothing was wasted. We used a ton of ingredients and ended up cooking everything, basically. I don't need to sleep here right now. Maybe not now. Mr. Santos Church lost his power, previously forbidden texts about magic, astronomy, and historical research books about previous eras are now here. Cool. Maybe not now. Maybe not now. Maybe not now. Maybe not now. Your face gamed. Maybe I want to explore the entire Gauntlet Runner, huh? Noah's pioneering spirit looks to be alive and well. I can just imagine him inventing something, a twinkle in his eye. Wait, is this a beanbag? Oh my god, it is. Didn't even notice the beanbags in this entire game. Found certainly every time I did laundry, which was probably a good experience. You never did the laundry in the entire game, and I can vouch for that, because I never did it. Been equipping the second half of the old man's notes in my spare time. Recently the villagers asking me to bake some sweets and the new ingredients we have. Cooking and inventing share a number of similarities. I've quite enjoyed it. As the villagers goaded me on more and more, I inadvertently compiled an amount of recipes I dare say would put a palace chef to shame. Rather than inventing dangerous tools of war, perhaps peacefully devising new and delicious confection recipes is the highest form of invention. The rest of the notes are full of detailed recipes of baked sweets. Oh, Noraz. Possible as lighter was prepared for me so I could learn about its country. Nora said it's been approved beyond compare, but it's the same to me. Taken in this moment. Everything. Thank you, Gauntlet Runner. You took us through so much. I'm gonna miss being on board you. Makes me nostalgic now thinking of the strategy meetings we once had. During our travels, Noah's used to cry out enemy attack through the runner phone, waking everyone up in a panic. Yeah, especially during the night, which happened quite a bit, to be fair. Goodbye, Gauntlet Runner. Let's go see how Noaz is doing. And I will talk to Lena. I did see her, but we'll talk to her afterwards. Ho ho ho! What brings this warm I can see here? Come to feel the wind in your face too, have you? I know how it is, and I fancy old title of Chief Engineer of the Kingdom Infrastructure Development Bureau. That's a hell of a name, and can research as I please now, but something's missing. So I threw off that stuffy old uniform and came to gaze upon the runner in the way I do. Take your job seriously, please. I know how you feel.
About that.
I knew you'd agree. I think my bones are aching to feel the wind. I have missed the days of dashing hither and thither in the runner. Now that I'm grateful for the gracious title you've given to a man who used to skulk about modifying gauntlet runners, you deserve more than anyone else. You haven't seen anything yet. Why, one day, I'll invent a teleportation device that will deliver fresh fish straight from Oceania to your palatial plates. It would change the world, wouldn't you say? I'm just a bit stuck at the beginning on development.
Indeed.
Times like this I need a stimulation of the mind. You think that might do a trick? Do I smell another relic hunt?
That's...
Don't pretend you didn't enjoy it. Every time you pop back in of one, I remember how I could hardly contain my excitement. I do so miss travelling like that. Even if the relics themselves are bare left untouched, they become the guiding principles of my research, you know.
That's...
Convenience is important, but one must consider safety and the effects it might have on the world. An engineer who dumps a burden on future generations is no engineer at all, which is... It kind of reminds me of a plotline of Final Fantasy 16 of Mid, where she was like, I don't want to create airships, because that's going to lead to turmoil in the future.
However...
Still, it's no small feat to design a perfect balance of safe and revolutionary. Even I struggle with it, and I'm a bolly genius. I knew it. I know what I need, simulation. Look, Your Majesty, you know, like the soul, shaking speed and quiver of a drive engine. You'll let me know if you ever want to go out for a spin, won't you? Our dear old girl, sparkling clean and always ready for takeoff. I'll let you know, don't worry. Hey, Lena, how's it going?
Hiya, boss. Oh, dang, I suppose I shouldn't be speaking to you so casually, huh? And again, we were rivals, weren't we? And Caden worships the official worship of the Palace Engineers now. Not that it's here nor there. Besides, I'm glad you got the crown. Still lots of humans out there you have to deal with, and you'll need a gauntlet runner to get them all. Caden Workshop, thanks you for your patronage.
Of course, I'm always trying to merchandise stuff. I really, yeah, Noah's is great. He's such a light drawing darker scenes. I love how he's written to be an engineer, but also someone who's always thinking about the future. Similar to Mid, like I said from Final Fantasy 16, he feels like he's done bad things in the past when it comes to engineering, and he wants to just pursue his future as much as he can. And in the end, he did. He built a gauntlet runner that can fly. Not only could it go across water, it can also fly. Noaz, you're incredible. I love you. I love all of you.
Thank you. You are.
Water under the bridge. Oh, that's sad.
Look at the horse. He is.
Oh, hello, Juno. I couldn't tell who you were for a second because of your witch hat.
Aha. I'm sure we'll meet again.
Because that was the person who was always nice to me in the square, and never him. Cat.
Wait a sec.
Shouldn't be possible, right? I just think he's cute. Doesn't bother you at all? You sure it's something else? The cat lived, just like the dog lived. The Dallas dog lives, and so does the cat. Maybe. Oh, it's Revolver Ocelot. He's always impartial to all of us. Oh, he's got a little, why did he have a little thing on? What is that? Hello, Juna. Or should I call you Juna the Teenage Witch? Oh, there you are, Nehru. Heard you were in town, so I decided to see if we might cross paths. I love the fact that they designed it added to the artwork for all these new designs. That is crazy attention to detail, Atlas. Bring any souvenirs?
In that case.
Gosh.
Let's just focus on the report. Don't worry, I'll give you the... Yes, firstly,
Well,
the Mage Academy's reconstruction is going swimmingly. Repairs are in full swing and they've already processing emissions. I must say I'm still surprised you appointed me of all people to be the Academy's headmistress. I was rather looking forward to going back on tour as a songstress. Oh, and I should introduce my furry little friend. I scooped him up in the Academy of all places. During the reconstruction they stumbled on the little guy and some of observatory are supposedly used by the king long ago. Considering the igniter around his neck, I'm sure he was being taken care of. I mean, there's no way a cat could survive all alone in that cold, could he?
so
Makes me kind of wish the Mage Academy was an actual dungeon. Which is probably my biggest complaint with this game, to be honest, is how rushed that whole portion of the game was. I think the Mage Academy could have been a really cool dungeon, and that could have tied more into the more mystery. Regardless, our mysterious kitty is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Academy. All that knowledge was lost when it fell, so it's starting from scratch. It may even be hiding something as big as the Dragon Temple or the Sanctum. Oh, and I'm keeping the cat. Feels like fate, you know?
speaking of which,
There is like a joke here, like he's delivery service joke here. Speaking of fate, I'm on my way back. I met with Myrtus. We know who that is. Come on.
Now we're talking.
He's been keeping well, I hope.
yeah.
More than well. Her foe has been fine and she's fairly yeah, because, you know, you're not the songster anymore. She can take more center spotlight. That's cute. They both just keep soaring to new heights. Her and music and me coming face to face with magic again.
Hey.
Surely you remember music was the first magic born in the world, yes? Oh yeah, Gallica doesn't stop telling me about that. I know what heart expresses itself through music. It moves the... I love that, by the way. That's one of my favourite parts of the game, how they brought back the music thing, which I thought was meant to be as a small little joke about, you know, didactic joke. Aha, music is actually magic. And then they brought it back at the end, and it was like, oh, what a tearjerker. And then when they make hearts swell, why, there's no end to the magic. So just you watch. With music and magic on my side, I'm going to change the world. All with an equal opportunity to hone their skills in the Mage Academy. Our doors are open to all. That's what my sister would have wanted. And if it makes the world a better place, why isn't that just grand?
Magic.
Bella taught me that magic is more than a tool. It's in all of us deep in our hearts. I really adored the Nidia tribe and how unique they are for an RPG setting like this. I like that they have like that fake, well not fake, the real form that they never show anyone else, and because of that they're seen as deceitful and unruly. And Juna's a delight to have. She's very teasing. I liked her part of the story in Biohaven. Her relationship with Fidelio and Rella. Her like influence on the story as it kept going on never went away really. Because she's so important to the people, she was an ever-present thread. Unlike Heisme, who kind of did fall off a little bit towards the end, she was always there, doing things important to the story and always providing her opinion on things. And I thought that was great. I just wish she was given more to do with the Mage Academy stuff. I think it's my biggest complaint of this game. Also, I saw Rudolph.
Yes, hello.
To think that you of all people would end up becoming the king. I never suspected it, but I will tell you one thing. Wax poetic about your ideals all you want, but when it comes to protecting the country, only power will suffice. The people don't all approve of a dreamer king. Yeah, let's not be a dick, come on.
Is that so?
Easier said than done. How much has the country truly changed in the past year? Have your policies truly fared better than Louise's would have? If all you do is talk, you know better than the last king. All ideals, no power, just the same. It takes time, buddy. Or these, like Gallica said, it takes time for these dreams to flourish. You can't just do it all instantly.
Do me.
Okay, here's someone else I want to talk to. An elder? Why aren't you His Majesty the King? Why would you be in a place like this? I can't be here?
Come on.
Obviously not, you mock me, Your Majesty. I thought we'd see less of this kind of stuff, but I guess we couldn't expect prejudice against the elder to disappear overnight or over a year. Oh, the king? What in the world? Oh god, here he is.
Hello.
Ah, is that your majesty? Well, fortunate to bump into you at the end of a year like this. Anything my humble personage may be able to do for you, your radiance, I am very happy at your service. Say but one glorious word, and I shall more happily...
Honestly.
Okay, laying on a bit thick, aren't we? It's that forked tongue that got you in trouble last time. You hear me? One wrong move and I'll turn you over to Basilio. You gotta turn your life around. Of course. I'm done with dirty tricks. Well, that's good. I'm glad Louise scared the fear of God into you. Loveless!
Hey,
What in the world? You make us see. Just one question, if I may. When are you going to lower the booze prices in this country? Ha, I'm only courting you. Haven't felt much like drinking until I blacked out so often anymore. After I ended the tournament, I really went through some stuff. I think a 4 on the world stage and to you too. I'm grateful, you know. Can't speak for the rest of the country, but you've done right by its purpose. We've got it better than we ever did. Some chuckleheads out there still trying to take their aggression out on us. But it is venting, probably. I'm sure you'll do something soon enough. There's another missed opportunity, which I don't really mind as much in hindsight now after we've done most things, is a lot of the other candidates got kind of sidelined to side content. You know, gauntlet runners we encountered out in the world, and then when we defeated them, they were done in the race. Like, Lena comes to mind too. He just went out immediately. Katharina too, just kind of ended. I was like, oh, are they just done with the story now? I would have liked them to appear a little bit more in the plot, but considering how it went, I don't really mind too much. They did get her plenty of screen time outside of it. So, either way, I think it worked out quite nicely. But at the time, I was like, oh, was that it? It's Cabio! I remember him. He was doing his, like, he wanted to be a junior.
you've got this under control, yeah?
I love him. He's one of my favourite characters who appeared during the Chargeria stuff. He just wanted to hang out with Junior, and I ended up beating him up and I felt bad. Right, so the palace is now back where it was before. I mean, that makes sense. It wasn't always going to be up there. Look how pretty it is all now. So much more colour in the world. I do think they've turned the saturation up a little bit. Hello. The king himself out browsing the shops. Perhaps I need to draft up a royal certificate of appointment. Tell the world we supplied goods to the royal family. Any recommendations? One igniter in particular, in fact. Though I'm afraid we're all sold out at that at the moment. The igniter I made the children's request, one that lights up with rainbow colours, is selling startlingly well. The store is packed with families and children. I now hold a position where I control distribution of all manner of goods throughout the kingdom as the head of the Igniter Consortium. So you are the head now, so that other person should be gone now, basically. Can't help but think that if I had been in a position sooner than the churches of violence, the tragedy of the village could have been prevented. It wasn't your fault. Focus on the present.
Brigitte.
Yes.
Indeed. Can't dwell on the past all I wish, but it won't change it. It won't change it, the future on the other hand. I took up this post after I was nominated by my colleagues. In other words, I suppose that means people have expectations of me, and that too, I'm a spoken wheel of change. Our new king has changed his country for the better. However, as a former arms dealer, it would be naive to think all weapons can ever disappear from this world. So the more reason I hope that the reason for people to wield them continue to decline. To that end, I'll continue doing all I possibly can, all that I am, just as you do.
Speaking of.
Yes. Do you remember my dog? I found the ones who took her. Naturally, I considered ending their life, but there she was, sitting beside them. No puppies die in this game. Yes. But evidently, they could not bring themselves to harm such a sweet creature, so I had to keep her instead. I had no choice but to spare their lives. I couldn't subject a gentle dog to the atrocities I commit in her name. You should come play with her sometime. I'm sure she remembers you. People might miss this and think the dog actually dies. Same with Gladell's dog. Or the cat. I love this game. It doesn't kill the pets. Great. Best video game ever. Yeah, Brigitte was a great character. I enjoyed her storyline. Very dark, but after that, it's not as dark as it could have been. Thank God. Again, I like how her quest ended and how she realized revenge was bad. Not by taking revenge on someone else and realizing this is bad, but through the children of the village that she was ordered to destroy coming to try and kill her. She took them out of it, tried her best to reason with them, and now they live with her. And I think it all kind of worked out nicely in the end. Oh god, it's like UFO over there.
come again. Oi there,
Gab, gab, gab.
if I may.
Hey, battling.
Oh.
Well, hello there, Your Majesty. As laid back as ever, I see. I myself have been quiet like a baby, for I find my position as chairman of Parliament quite an unfamiliar one. I like how everyone has like, these massive positions now. I mean, they did a lot of work, to be fair. Still, I've considered these open-to-all parliamentary meetings. Compiling all those opinions is indeed hard work, but work well doing.
This fellow.
It won't be easy for those who are at the church's beck and call to change, but I think they've been starting to see what they turned a blind eye to. At least a bit, no? Person who speaks the real truth to the public without yielding to authority. That's what my father and I wish for, a true and proper town crier. This country's turned over a new leaf, but there are still many problems to work out. It seems the rural regions are still suffering from human havoc.
I'm counting on you.
All I'm saying is we're a long way from utopia, but still the first step is important as the last, taking big ones. Danny.
Wonderful.
Let's talk to Godot first.
All right.
You surveying the city incognito, Your Majesty. Your escorts will be aghast, not that I think anyone is truly capable of harming you. As you are aware, favor in the Sanctus Church plummeted after our misdeeds were exposed. I admit we were arrogant and unjust, wicked and... I mean, I understand it. And it's one of the cool parts of the Rella plotline, which again I wish was expanded a little bit more on, was... people who worship Sanctism are not evil. They are looking for faith to have security in and safety. And Sanctism provided that for them. Even Godot, they were manipulated, brainwashed into having these terrible ideals for the actual religion, but they wanted to feel safe. And it provided them that, a comfort in the end. And when we were fighting Rella, she didn't want to just die and end the curse. She had to design a way for her to confirm that the future would be safe. And considering what happened with Luis, it was well worth doing, because that was a wake-up call in terms of how hard this game can be. So good job, game. Ludo narrative shit actually works. I intend to restore the Sanctus Church's true purpose to offer salvation to those in need. As Sanctarch, and as someone who was saved by the Sanctus faith like myself, that's all I can do to return the favor.
May God keep you, child.
I like that him and the Edeni and Yufa are nearby, showing that their religions can mix.
Hey.
Hello there, Your Majesty. It's great to see you doing as well as ever. I just left a meeting with the Provisional Lords. I also preach and must study teachings in various areas when the opportunity arises. Many still push back against such teachings, but that's perfectly fine. A country is well served by different perspectives. Many of the villagers have come around to this too, you know. I think that's because you all face such danger on our behalf. Still, it won't be easy to change the entirety of Uchronia. History is embedded deep in its roots. The country is larger, and some people in need of the power you have. True test of your value has only just begun. Yufa. How you doing?
Greetings.
Working hard as ever, Nehru. Were you going about town listening to what the people have to say? Myself, I just come from the Crown Court, where I've been consulting with the people about their grievances and disputes as Chief Magistrate. Our court has the time for that? Couldn't you delegate that? No. I'm not going to make her do anything she doesn't want to do. Our court's taken on common grievances.
Yes, of course.
In the past, we were busy with cases of violence and theft, but those have decreased remarkably.
In truth.
As you're undoubtedly aware, in the past, many citizens were sentenced to hang without so much as a trial.
Yes.
I'm pleased to report things are different now. This is the judge of this place now. Anyway, regardless of race or status, can tell their side of the story in court and be judged equally and fairly. It just goes to show anything is possible, even for a priest to become a chief magistrate. And my brother is making great strides as village chief. Rather hated the role before, but he's truly found his calling, I think.
The reason is...
As I said, no one knows what the future holds. It's all the more reason I try to guide people to good choices. I want to live in a society that practices kindness, where those who suffer need not turn to crime. And so, I practice what I
Now
preach.
that you mention it.
The other day I went to Ovi's church to inquire with those who were sick there about how the kingdom can be more accessible to them. Yeah, how is Ovi?
Very well.
Yes, we practiced dancing together, and then we showed her mother. All of them were ready to ease into working again. Hearing them made me reflect on all the people who still need our help. Until then, the only hope those people had was God.
I do believe.
I want to fight for them and have options under laws and systems that they can rely on in addition to higher power. A country where all the tribes with all their values can join hands in harmony. That's what we need.
Because
You're aiming to achieve that too, Your Majesty. I hope you allow me to keep walking alongside you. Yes, that always. Ah, keeping the romance stuff out of it a little bit. I'm fine with that. We already had a bunch of that before, and everyone is focusing on this new world first, so I understand that they're not going down that route. Good, it was smart. Again, there was that whole thing when this game was releasing that people thought they weren't going to be doing romance, and they ended up, sneaking it in there, Vufa, and all that. I'm very glad that we got a bit of that, just to show that there's a future for the prince, and there's going to be kind of a legacy to a certain extent. The Dragon Temple stuff was really good. Like I mentioned before, I love the Dragon Temple and how it's designed. Yufa and Adeni. At first, I didn't seem to enjoy as much as I thought I did, but no, I now, in hindsight, I really liked it. I liked how it focused on the meaning of life instead of the meaning of death, and how her purpose changed from that. It's a surprisingly emotional storyline about not giving in to self-sacrifice, which is why I felt the Alonso plot was weird until they fixed that later.
What am I to
You can't have both in this game. You can't villainify self-sacrifice and then victimize it as well. Can't empower it and debuff it at the same time. Okay, we only got one more area left to go. The Grand Cathedral. Right. Oh, look, it's him. It's the boomer guy.
Right.
Well, isn't Your Majesty? It's been a year since you ascended the throne. A quick one at that. Thought that the strife with Louise was but a bad dream. Had you asked me then, I would have been wringing my hands about one so young leading the kingdom, but now I'm embarrassed to have fought it. You had a keen eye to recognize the danger Louise posed, and a braver still to have fought him. You had a kingly caliber I never truly possessed. Still, a single year is but a drop in the proverbial bucket. Stay vigilant, King. You could say that again. Let's go see the pretzel place. Oh, hello, Roger. Hi, Your Majesty. It's an honor to meet you at this most auspicious time of year. I know I was quite devoted to Luis at one point. His power is both overwhelming and alluring. Where do you stand now? Disgusted by my shallowness, if I'm honest. It's hardly an atonement, but I'll at least try to be straight with you from now on. Not to bring down the mood, but I wanted to mention I sensed something familiar among your supporters. Recognize it because I was the same way. In their eyes, you're a hero who conquered the monstrous Luis. They entrusted you with authority because of your power and their desire to be at peace.
Indeed.
It is assumed that the people have expectations not of your ideology, but solely of your power. King or not, failing to see the difference may invite consequences. Please take it from someone who erred in his ways. The people of this country have not recovered from the unrest, and when they do, they will recover. Pretzel store! Oh, it's so colourful. I did see a Bond. There he is.
lovely there.
Old Barden.
That's something.
What an unexpected coincidence, Your Majesty. No guards with you today. Heh, don't worry, I'm not no tattletale. I myself just left a meeting going on over the provisional government are doing. We've convened for a new year. I remember the last time we talked to him, we talked about building a government so that different villages can talk to each other. How are things in Batira? Oh, it's as lively as it used to be, and we owe it all to you. Your Majesty, that dodgy mess you cleaned up for us feels like ancient history now. And I'm pleased to report, as head of the Provisional Lords, it's nothing but good news reaching my ears. Better relations between towns as employment up and overall welfare too. Each town has specialties and wisdom to offer, and when we combine our heads, there's no problem we can't solve. Just feel so blessed to be part of it. I know I made some blunders when I first stepped into the governor's role, but I'm happy to share my failings so others don't repeat my mistakes. So things are alright now?
But of course.
Indeed they are. The townspeople play an active role in policy and administration. I'm not bearing the weight alone. Of course, some lords are like I once was, and would rather manage things at their sole discretion than leave things to the people. And yes, taking every matter to public opinion can be laborious, what if the proceedings and disputes. Still, changing our own lives with our own hands makes the process worth the trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And choosing a king of our own will was all the inspiration we needed for change.
Lovely that.
Lovely. The material plot line was tragic. The stuff involving the royals there, the Santa's church there, and how that poor mother lost her child because of discrimination in the society, and
Lovely.
basically led to her going down the spiral and finding a human that looked like her baby, or looked like a baby anyway, and fed it people. And then she was executed. And poor Barden had to pick up the pieces, and I think he's done a good job of that so far. Like I mentioned, the plotline was a little weaker than other Bond quests, but I didn't mind it. Thought it was still good. Get eat, laddie. Oh god, it's Milo.
Uh-huh.
Oh, your Majesty, it's already been a year since you sent it to the phone, and 1 year since I lost my bid for it. Thinking back, I've no regrets. I know I've been able to defeat Louise in the end as you did. That's candid for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected really, but I believe in your power, your Majesty. But I'll not acquiesce on all fronts, you know. You needn't look further than your 6 partisans, your merry little band. I can appreciate your faith in your inner circle, but to reward them all, they all fought Louise. It wasn't just fucking me. Why, what might expect you have collusion? How about you collude my ass? Country requires views more wakes of life, and they all put more wakes of life. But another way, when I appoint me your Prime Minister, with my guidance, Ukraine would become a land of true beauty. Just when he thinks about to make a decent point, he plays his own angle. Lay your guard down around this guy. For sure. Oh, we can go in here. Is Stroll in here? This is where we first met Stroll. This is where we first did our interviews, if I remember correctly. Oh, that was ages ago. Part 1. If I was editing this, then I would put like a flashback here, or part 1. Right. I think all we got left now is Stroll and Katharina.
Lovely that.
And I already saw Katharina over here. Hello!
Hi there.
Oh, well, it isn't the big man himself. Good timing, mate. Just got back into town myself. Where'd he go?
What
Captain
a
of the
day.
Seekers recon team, remember? Cover the world doing all kind. I kind of wish one of the characters wasn't part of, like, the whole system. Like, they were just doing their own thing still, but it makes sense that character development-wise they would be doing this. I wonder if they wouldn't be in this place if they didn't complete their social link. And Crazy doesn't begin to describe what's beyond the sea. The sights, the magic, everything's so fantastic, I'm already itching to get back out there. Well, not especially keen on dodging the bloody cannonballs, my shit gets too close. Lots of tension out there, but what country isn't a little tense? Oh yeah, you were going out to that, weren't you? Everything from the custom to the way they think it's different, my head spins. Makes all the trouble bickering seem right dull if I can speak my mind. But this country's changing for the better. Glad I turned over the phone to you. You turned it over?
Hold on.
Yeah, I knew you'd be right for the purpose, so I bowed out early to give you a fighting chance. Just kidding, Katharina, final boss against Luis. All my cohort have found jobs, and some of them have even picked up new skills from being out at sea so long.
See you soon, I hope.
But don't you worry your kingly head, I have it all whipped up in a report for you. Do something proper king of it, yeah? The world's a crazy place. I wonder if we will explore that world in the new Metaphor game. You know, the crazy thing about Atlas is that Persona 6 is not that far away. It's crazy to me that they were working at this at the same time as Persona. And considering how good this is, I'm scared how good Persona 6 is going to be. Scared or excited?
Young man.
What?
Who are you again? Were you the guy I beat first?
Left with no choice. Huh.
Also, I didn't talk about Katharina. What would I talk about Katharina? I think Katharina's a good character as well. I like how peppy she was. Like, if there was someone else who might be with the prince, it might be her. Considering I like her relationship with Nehru. I like how this game's structured in terms of the calendar system. It did scare me a couple of times thinking I wouldn't get everything done, but I had just enough time to do everything. The Colosseums, the Trials, the Four Virtues, the Social Links, everything had just enough time to do it, and I think the game afforded you a ton of time to do that. It does maybe question whether doing Persona 5 or Persona 3 or any other Persona game in the future, if I need to use a guide for that, just to make it so I can see everything in the game, but that's a fun experience, I think, also, doesn't it? Like, the whole idea is going into this blind, and I'm glad I did that with this. Ended up working out quite nicely. It was an experiment that worked out pretty well. Also, look at that render distance. Oh my god. It's a PC game. Why is it doing that? Atlas. The bounties are fun. I like how they were different to dungeons. I love doing the intel stuff. Like, whenever we got out of the story and had the month, I loved that day after, going everywhere, talking to everyone, getting the text, and writing that all down on my document, having all that written. In fact, give me a sec. Why don't I show you my document? This is what I had with me whenever I was playing the game. Basically, I had this entire document going through every single classes everyone had, all the different archetypes, or the prince archetypes, all the different races, bounty hunter prep, going through all of this, my dungeon run prep of all the different dungeons, all the places quest priority. I didn't end up taking these off at the end, but yeah, all of this, bounties, Altaberry, Virgo Island, Biohaven, Materia, Grand Trad. Ended up being a lot of fun going through this, creating little stats so I can remember what archetypes are better. And yeah, kind of leaning it around to Katharina, I liked how there were two different types of quests, dungeons and bounties. You get rewarded for bounties through the courage system. And yeah, overall, how it was designed, as someone who has not played a Persona game before, or an Atlas-esque game, it was really well done. And I know this is the best example of it because they have put all the quality of life into this, and it wasn't necessarily about strict timing like previous Persona games. I don't know how I would have proceed through those, but we'll see. As an experience playing their most recent game, I quite enjoyed it. So gameplay-wise, pretty good when it came to the calendar system. Archetypes are a little different. At the beginning of the game, there's a lot more about customization and choosing your own playstyle against monsters, but as the game goes on, it becomes a lot more strict as to what you should really be investing into, especially when it comes to Juna, Yufa, and Basilio. They don't get much time to develop more than a couple of archetypes because of how late they join. So when you come around to doing their royal archetypes, you've got to be very careful what you choose. And I kind of wish they told you, I kind of wish at the end of the day they just kind of made it limited, or at least gave you kind of an idea as to what you should put it into for their characters. Doesn't even have to be that much, just saying, okay, this might be, Basilio might be more inclined to do brawler because he's a punky guy. Along those lines, maybe. The names of the moves is crazy, but I know that from Persona 3, so that wouldn't really surprise me.
Real nice that.
Has he been here for like an entire year panicking? The game is definitely the weakest part of the game of this for me, but I did enjoy it for the most part. Well, hello. Well, so you're here. Oh, Gallica and your highness as well. But that's no longer your title, is it? Excuse my impertinence, your majesty. I also wonder if the Elden Sanctuary is going to be more of an area at some point, because these characters weren't really in it that much, and I kind of wish they had more screen time. Still, knowing that the New Year celebration was just around the corner, I couldn't resist returning to the capital to see how the kingdom was faring. Has it been kind to you? Indeed, I need only look upon their smiling faces to see that. The city feels alive again, and it seems as though the citizens are free to choose their own paths. I must say, I never imagined I'd return here for the cloak and shadow, and I owe a great deal to the work of Lady Juna. To think I'd be able to see grandchild behind us sitting openly upon the throne. Houses, are you seeing this as well?
Yep.
We've got a long way to go, but I know Grius will be watching.
I should tell you a sizable amount of the villagers in the sanctum have gained an interest in the outside world. I've been acting as a sort of their bridge. Seems this doggering old fool has found a new role to find the middle ground for those who wish to preserve tradition and those who seek innovation. Couldn't think of a better man for the job, I saw. I'm sure he'd be a great help to the village. I fought so long to save this country, but seeing all these smiling faces now, I think perhaps I'm the one being saved. This is a country that protects its people. The people shape the country in turn. Surely that's the world His Late Majesty wishes to see. Not simply chase the ideal of utopia, but the shaping of our own hand. We're a long way to go, but I trust you'll continue to make this country stronger, Your Majesty. That whole part with the Elden Sanctuary was fantastic. Finding out about their history, allowing the player to go through that on their own first to look at the morals was a clever decision, so you kind of pierce your own thing. And then the whole twist that we were the prince the entire time puts everything onto its head. I cannot wait to watch someone else play this game and experience the little hints they leave along the way to show that and more, and King Hippodaeus as well. So much in the game would imply that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all. It's going to be hard to keep a lot of the secrets, but I'll try my best. Yeah, I loved how our arc, how they made it so it didn't feel like cheap, that we ended up being giving that all that stuff over to the prince. We were the prince the entire time. And it leads a lot of credence into Atlas deciding at the end of the day to have the main character be an actual character and not just a self-insert for the player. Having them actually have a role in the story, a voice, makes it a lot more interesting. I would always say I would prefer an actual character over a self-insert. But it can work. It worked in Persona 3, because I was still sad when sad things happened in that game.
Fancy a chat?
Thank you for buying extending me water across the whole game. It was very kind of you. I thought that was Luis for a second there. He's got like a Luis do. I shouldn't say that considering what Luis did to his family, but yes. Oh, they got rid of stone? I remember we mentioned at one point that we wanted the stone to stay behind as a statue for us.
May God keep you. May God keep you, child.
Right. The last one, of course, is Stroll, our original boy, who I thought was going to be like a Junpei-esque character, and ended up being probably the best, like, male companion character in an Atlas game ever.
Hey.
Skulking about the city again, are we? We used to say Hulkenberg is on the hunt. The classic game of cat and mouse, though who is which I dare not say. Been a year since you ascended the phone, but it's like you've hardly changed. I guess say the same. Should I be more pretentious?
I mean, no.
That's Rick. All that raw blood in you is possibly wasted, my friend. What are we to do with you? Not that I can talk. Actually came out for a bit of a breather myself.
So,
You know, I see now that even those at the top have their struggles a little too clearly. The general's duties feel overwhelming at times. But there are lives hanging in the balance. I recognize the weight of every decision I make, and I do find satisfaction in protecting those lives.
Hey.
Remember our first meeting back at the recruitment center? I, a fallen noble with nothing to my name, and you, a struggling elder traveler. I won't say struggling, but I guess you could say it like that. Back then, my only goal was getting ahead. My people were a little more than an afterthought. If I hadn't met you, I never realized the truth about my fortune, my father's intentions, and I certainly couldn't have saved the Halians.
Thank you.
I owe seeing the joy in their faces to you. I think I said it before, but again, thank you. Got serious, huh?
You.
For my heart and thanks, and that's your response? Oh god, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Well, replay the entire game. I fucked it. Showing the way, I'll blaze the trail, now and always, is my role as a warrior to the vanguard.
That's why.
Our titles maybe have changed, but I like to think our friendship is steadfast as ever. Don't hesitate to rely on me now and always.
Stay there.
And yeah, it's the beginning of our journey. I did not know how good this game would be back then. I had some ideas, but ended up being a wonderful experience. Story-wise, this is my favorite game that came out this year, no questions asked. Like, Dawn Trail was fine, Rebirth was fine, convoluted as hell, but it was fine. This is really good storytelling, and I cannot wait to play more Atlas games in the future, considering this is their latest entry.
So?
I think we've heard all we can from people. Okay, I think that's like Galaxy saying we are done. Let's go see her.
That reminds me.
Being here sure brings up memories. You remember how we came here looking for Maria before the tournament for the phone? She was crying back then, though. She's happy now.
But
You can say that again. Skunk's turned around since then, no doubt about it. Sure, there will always be differences of opinion, but your ideals are really coming to fruition now. I can feel it. That reminds me, what's with the book you've been carrying around now? Is that the one you've been working on yourself? Final Fantasy. I mean, that's not even a word for it. Maybe this will be called Metaphor, ReFantazio. After all, if you're making the one putting it in ink, that means we're going to make it a reality someday. More will be happy about that. Oh, they even put me on the map running out. Oh, no. I see they rebuilt this place. Oh, Grius. Generally thought he'd be a pipe member, but he was taken before his time.
Oh, right. I suppose now I should call you Your Majesty. You know, I was just telling Papa, even through all that mess, everyone's really been working hard.
Am I keeping my promise properly from back then?
Yes, you beat the villain, and now the city's full of smiles. And I'm sure Papa's smiling down on you too.
That's good. Hearing that from you really lifts my heart.
The kids enjoy to see kids like her smile. Future changes slowly, and the burden of momentum will fall on their shoulders one day. Which is why they need a good upbringing, because they're going to end up like Louise.
With what I've got. I want to help everyone understand that the world could be a better place if we can join hands with one another. Miss Fabian's fed so many hungry people since things changed. Some of those people even said they found their place there. If we can all change together for the better like that, we'll be closer to Your Majesty's and Papa's dream.
Place where I ought to be. A side of myself I ought to show. The path is never clear.
And I want to help with something too. I want everyone across the land to be able to smile.
Or making a trusty advisor.
Yes. I expect great things, my trusty advisor.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Majesty. Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
Oh, we're whispering. Oh yeah, I guess I'm not in the Royal Palace right now. Abort!
We should be the
Abort!
ones thanking her. Feels like I can see the entire country's future in her smile.
Aww. Oh, everyone is here. Okay.
Everyone.
Everyone is here.
Long time no see. How have you been?
Oh, Guna's very happy.
As we find ourselves afield, I thought I might visit Alsace myself.
Hold on a tick. Those people there. Surely not.
No, we're just impersonators. We're just a fake royal, you know, the people.
Naturally, we're drawing attention. We didn't all have to go at once.
Needn't fuss a thing. It's been too long since we were all together again anyway.
We should go somewhere else.
Lady Tuna, did she really come all this way in a runner? Could have asked His Majesty to pop over and bring you back with a teleport or two.
The unmitigated nerve.
Oh, it's fine.
I love Grumpy Hulkenberg.
It's definitely a little rougher outside the capital's walls, There's still traces of melancholia around, and the odd human roaming
I
about.
mean, you had to go a long way from the Mage Academy here, right?
We're
It's all the
sending
way through
soldiers out for
Alderberry.
every incident we can. But it's not easy to hear the voice of the people from more distant regions.
I guess it's obvious. But just because you're king now doesn't make you suddenly all-seeing.
No.
A lesson I learned last year. In the end, I was blind
Like
to
the
a great
statue
deal
is
of
what
this
to,
world.
you know, tell
Never would
information.
have learned if I hadn't pushed out the door and seen it with my own eyes.
Maybe we need to invent the telephone. He's right. The capital can be a bit of a bubble. There'll always be more to do and learn beyond its walls. Then let's abandon it and go somewhere else.
A year ago, I would have just said we could fly over ourselves. I mean, let's be real. The capital isn't going to fall apart if we just sneak over for a little tour.
I don't know if that'd be wise, but okay.
Of course not. We specifically put precautions in place to keep things running.
You say so, Heisme.
Yet it has only been 1 year. We cannot be too complacent too soon, lest the dissidents seize on the opportunity.
Oh, there he is! Over there! See? I told you, that's His Majesty, innit?
Don't you worry, these people are gonna say that they'll be fine on their own.
Might have been a bit too obvious.
No, it's not Your Majesty, it's the fake. We're all fakes, we're all clowns, we're just dressed up. We're all Nydia.
Oi there, Your Majesty!
You dare hoy the king, you swine?
Fuck's sake, Hulkenberg, stop being comedic.
Steady on, Hulkenberg, calm. You needn't draw steel on the poor fellow. We're the ones who indulged in this little day.
Hey, don't Hulk out, Hulkenberg.
Your Majesty, thanks for all you do, really. Have to say, my life's a lot easier now.
There's more work to do every day. But we're in this together. We believe in you. Everyone's so supportive. Kind of
Yeah,
brings
we were
back
trying to
memories
get
from
through the
last
Royal
year.
Palace and everyone was saying, you can do it! Glory to the Sultana!
Rather. It's the sort of thing to get a chap all misty-eyed over the past. What a journey it was.
We really did just leg it up and down the country slaying dragons, eh? Can't believe we actually survived it.
Yeah, no, that whole trial thing was crazy.
They were dangerous times. But exciting ones too.
And sad.
When we fought to appease the dragon god, I had no idea we would have
That's
to face
cool that they
another
actually are
form of
mentioning the
dragon.
trials. I didn't think they would, so I'm glad I did them. I was thinking of not doing them, so it's good they are actually part of the ending.
Nor I. Never thought the day would come when I'd be hailed as a dragon slayer. Huh. Life is full of surprises.
You were invaluable in one of those dragon bosses.
Right.
I resolved to believe in any of my ideals, no matter what may come even back then. Even if the world is slow to change, a king's belief can never waver.
It was a hard road, but we did have fun together, didn't we?
Looks like we're drawing a crowd. Time to get back to work.
Indeed. A veritable mountain of tasks awaits us.
I don't want
will
it to
see
end.
crested.
Actually, I do want it to end, but I also don't want it to end.
And not long after, the new year dawned.
Time moves on. With the crown having been placed down. Are we going? We going on an expedition? We killed that thing.
A journey? Are you really planning on leaving us?
Now you're all coming with me. More I have to
There's
see.
more I have to see. With my own eyes.
You want to know what's going on in the world, huh? Well, I guess you are the king.
Sounds like fun, but a daily jaunt down to the slums is one thing, and a proper journey is quite another.
Oh, I hope we get like an adventurous ending where everyone like riding the gauntlet runner into the sunset. That'll actually kill me if you do that. Don't do that. But I always enjoy those endings, like how Final Fantasy. No. And how Dragon Quest XI ends. Just want to do what I can.
I want to do what I can for the people. If that's not kingly, then the crown's just slowing me down.
Come on, this is no time for jokes.
I'm not joking.
Never the fearless gadabout, eh? Well, I take your point, lad. Nagler and the humans make a fine barometer for the anxiety still swirling in the country. So you go out and give it a proper survey. Where it is and how much is there. If people can't face
Are you going to come with me, Noraz? You wanted to go out for a little jaunt as well.
And if they can't do that, we'll have a bally hard time moving forward as a nation or a people. So you want to get a better grasp of it all. That's your most important duty as a ruler. That's what you're thinking, eh?
Right.
Even the most faraway future began with the belief that it can be realized. So I'll press onward. That's the best I can do.
If that was your plan, you could have just said so.
Sounds like a fine idea to me. A proper spot of fun besides. Wouldn't expect any less from our king and captain. Well, since I'm the bally court engineer...
And everyone else is going to show up, aren't they? They're all going to be on here.
Driver fit to maneuver the Royal Skyrunner after all. And why, you're the Dragon Slayer King. Bane of monsters all across the country. When I imagine what sort of wondrous encounters you've got next, well, I'm all agog. Yes, here begins our quest anew. Let us sally forth upon our... hello? Are you not listening to me?
Sire, you've really
Yeah, they're wearing original outfits.
You'll be the death of us.
Once again, sire, I've asked you countless times to give word if you're to leave the castle. Such caprice.
Look how angry he is. Come on, Hulkenberg.
Norris, don't tell me you
Norris?
called for them before.
Norris! That's the first time I've heard him record Norris.
Saved us a bit of
Is that
time,
how it's pronounced?
Though,
80 hours.
What's this? I count only 2 of the 6 partisans. Short a few spears.
For my part, I believe 'tis unrealistic for all of us to depart the capital together.
Oh, so you have no plans to stop our little adventure, eh?
Hulkenberg and I talked it over. We decided that if you insist on going, we'd rather go with you than stop you.
Are you sure about this?
I was thinking back to our last fight with Luis. So many people supported us.
Yeah,
but
that
not
part
for
we
any
missed.
high-minded ideals or arguments.
They were supporting us because we were actively fighting a monster on their behalf. In the end, people make choices based on their personal experience and emotion.
Yeah, they don't care for the morally grey that much.
Even if decided justly and supported by prosperity, people may struggle to trust a king whose face they do not know. An invisible ruler is no cure for their fears.
Right. I'm not opposed to the idea of getting out into the world again. Really, it might be the wisest move to make sure you're a king everyone knows.
Still, this early into the new year? 'Tis never a dull moment in your Majesty's employ.
Bit of a smaller party than we last set out with, huh? But it's a pleasure to be on the road again with you.
Okay, but can we really afford to have both our general and the Royal Guard's captain coming along for this?
'Tis natural course for the Royal Guard to accompany the king.
Yeah, Gallica, it's for the ending. Come on. Who cares? It's for the run into the sunset.
Fall apart in my absence.
We'll make it work. Got to learn to trust others and delegate, right? We'll just have to lead by example.
Yeah, by being mischievous little kiddies. Let's go!
Right then, let's go.
That's
you
it.
once heard my voice and answered a query in kind. Is fantasy a powerless creation? That timeless question. So long as life remains in the world, we seekers all shall search for our answer.
I will say that, but you also said our world didn't exist. So...
But he will find his. Of that I am certain. And it is thanks to you, for believing in and guiding him.
He sounds so much like the king now, it's crazy.
That was the true purpose of my royal magic, you know. To seek and obtain guidance from denizens of a land beyond ours. A land that has not yet lost hope. And it was you who answered the call. Armed with your hope, armed with the power of fantasy, you rose in glory. Such courage, such whimsy, and yes, what thrills. You have my sincerest thanks.
And thank you for letting me play your game more and read your book. Thank you, Atlas.
Feels familiar. It's been far too long.
Aye, the wind feels an echo.
Oh
of
no,
days
it's
past.
happening. The waterworks are starting. They've initiated them. He's been here the entire time.
They're awful, aren't they? They would have left us behind. Oh.
Well, I'm not certain we're in a position to talk, having followed straight after, saying we could just teleport back.
Well, hey, we figured the kids.
How the
might
hell
wanna
did you sneak
change
on
of
here?
Scenery, like.
Wow!
Is this a good idea?
Amazing!
Poetic indeed. That the scepter's absence restored order to Magla, and even greenery to the sands.
Oh!
I'll say, I definitely like this view better.
No more sandworms.
Let's go.
Into the sunset, as I said. Oh. That's it. That was Metaphor, ReFantazio. Oh, I didn't actually end up crying during this, but I didn't really expect myself to. Definitely very cinematic and revelations heavy, rather than it actually being like, oh, emotional mess like I was at the end of Persona 3. I've already gave my review for the most part, but I'll just summarize it here. It's not my favorite game this came out this year, but it's damn near close to Rebirth. Atlas as a developer is not something I've really, taken part in. I haven't really played their games that much. I originally played Persona 4 like ages ago, and I stopped halfway through, around getting Kenji, and I don't know why I stopped. I just stopped playing the game entirely and didn't come back. And I kind of had a bitter feeling about Atlas games, just because I didn't like the slice of life angle, the calendar system. And I hope through doing these marathons, these series, that I can grow to appreciate these games. And more than that, when I started the Final Fantasy ages ago, Final Fantasy 9, the plan was the marathon of the Final Fantasies, but as I've gone on, I've really enjoyed playing through these different types of games and experiencing things I never thought I would enjoy. And now we've made it to an Atlas game. And a long one at that. And I couldn't have done this without it being a scattershot. If I had done this, recorded this all, I would be dead. Considering how long these last 3 parts are, and I'm gonna make it 3 parts, not 1, because I don't want people to watch a 5-hour video. This has been about 8 hours long in terms of recording length. Yeah. This is one of my favourite games this year. Better than Persona 3. I watched someone else play Persona 3. I think that I'm glad I got through it. It's a long game. There's not many long RPGs I can get through. But as I've gone on, I've tried my best to play as many as I can and get through these longer experiences. And I definitely want to play more Atlas games in the future. Maybe even record them. Record my experience. Because they are masterful at writing. Even if they're not the biggest fan of the gameplay or some of the calendar decisions, the writing is exceptional. And apparently Persona 5 is as good. So maybe at some point I'll play it. Maybe at some point I'll record it. Or stream it. There's always a possibility out there. But this has been a wonderful experience. So many great twists, great characters. Just a really well-written story with a couple of rushed bits in there, of course. It's not going to be perfect. No game is perfect. But Atlas are currently at a peak. in terms of how good they have been in the past few years. Persona 5, this, Persona 3 Reload, they are knocking it out of the park. And them alongside Monolith are two giant like landmarks when it comes to showing that turn-based RPGs can still exist and still be mainline. They have knocked it out of the park. I don't have anything else to say. I love this. I'm glad I got to play this and record this. I'm glad I got to finish it before I went on holiday. Potentially doing the entire finale on one day was a mistake, but I didn't know how long it would take, to be fair. Definitely a lesson for the future. I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough. It's weird saying it's at an end considering how long this has been. Oh, what a wonderful game. What a wonderful experience. I'm gonna miss Nehru. I hope we get more. I hope we get Persona Metaphor 2, Metaphor 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I hope we get spin-offs. I hope they milk this series for all it's worth. Actually, no, I hope they don't actually. Maybe make it one game and that's it. I can't wait to experience this game through online media, seeing what people have made in terms of creativity. I won't be replaying it, ever. This game's too long for that. Like, Dragon Quest 11 comes to mind too. I'm never playing that game again because of how long it was. But I can't wait to see others play it. And with that in mind, I'm going to skip through if I'm allowed. Oh, okay, I'm not allowed to skip through the credits. Game. Oh, God. Fuck. Atlas. Atlas, maybe like design your credits so I can skip through them? How long are these credits? Oh god, okay, I gotta sit here for a couple of minutes. I don't know if it's gonna be a post-credit scene. 10 minutes. Is there a post-credit scene? I don't know, because the one that has credits just ends. There is a post-credit scene. I guess we're sitting here for the next 10 minutes then. Atlas, please put a skip credits button. I love seeing all the people who worked on your games. I highly recommend checking them out. They did a fantastic job. I got places to be. I gotta finish this, do some laundry, get up to a point in the Alliance Raid quest so I can allot that, and then do the Alliance Raid quest. I'm currently sitting here an hour before I run out of some people. I don't have time. What else can I talk about? Music. It's been alright. Not the best, like, OST. Like, I think Persona 5 has an incredible OST. Definitely think they can improve on next time, but it wasn't bad. I don't think the music was awful at all. I hope people love this game, and I hope Atlas get rewarded for it. I mean, this game is, like, making bank right now, I think, right? It is one of the most popular Steam games right now. Okay, hold on. Wait, well, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, well, that's this lovely music. Yeah, many people have voted for this game and saying how good it was. There's obviously the talk about Atlas and the fact that they are stuck behind high school games, right? They're stuck behind that for Persona. I haven't played Shin Megami Tensei. I might play them at some point. I don't know if I'll record them. My next plan is to do Brothership and Dragon Quest 3 at the same time, and then after that, I'll be moving on to Crisis Core. Because I put the marathon for Final Fantasy on hold enough now, after Final Fantasy 1, which I think was a good stopping point for that point, but I do want to get back to it afterwards. I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest 3 though. I think that'll be a fun time. That will be a full playthrough. Brothership's doing pretty well on YouTube. It's been a pleasant time. I thank anyone who made it to the end of this, obviously. I love what we're seeing all the artwork at the end here too from the fantasy novel done by Moore. I guess Moore was a sketch artist too, considering we're getting like illustrations. Maybe they're meant to be like it's written as words, but this is what we're seeing as an audience, a visual media. I currently have nothing else to say. I think I've spoken for the last hour with you in this game in the epilogue. I like the part where the monk person raps, and we get this awesome monk rap. I don't know what he's saying. I bet someone's like Googled it or like researched it and found out what he's saying during the song. I like the battle theme a lot. It's not Last Surprise good, but it's alright. Can't believe you can't skip the credits. Crazy. Or at least speed them up. Like, I wouldn't mind if I could speed it up. And I don't want to leave because they put a post-credit scene. And it might be like, you know, New Game Plus. That just fucking give me the New Game Plus. I'm not doing it. Yes, I would love to play the game again, even though I just played it. Oh, is that it? No. Is that it? We sure just killed Luis, huh? He's just dead. Murdered. Defeated. I liked him as a villain. I think I already talked about that a lot. Okay, we're getting logos. Okay, we did it. I will definitely be playing Persona 6. Atlas, good job making this game. Sergey, you produced it. Good job. Thank God. Atlas, you're great. That wasn't too long. That's like about 10 minutes. Oh.
Dear guest, from a world I shall never know.
Me.
In your eyes, I know our journey was ultimately a fiction.
Yes.
However, I hope your memories of this fantastical adventure burn as bright in your reality. I hope the promise of our world echoes in you. With all my heart, I hope that fantasy gives you strength.
It will. No, you worry more, it will. What's that?
Look at that. The rubble's just baked for tourists now.
Oh, the Chargrius.
I never expected a view like this.
Let's see it all. Let's see the world.
Yeah.
A new journey now beckons. In days of eld, the people prospered and perished in turn. Struck by their ways, I wrote a book of my dearest ideas. A tale of fantasy. In my vision, they place their trust.
Well, what are you saying? We can just wait. I just heard Stroll say, "Oh, drop it." What is he? What are you doing? Basilio, leave him. Oh.
Without a doubt, you will face all
Cursed images.
but carry onward with all your heart.
Oh, they're both speaking to us, Mum and Dad.
Fearless into a world unknown.
Fantasy lives on. That's the best game over screen we've ever gotten. Right? That's it. Witness the ending. Oh. Yes. I guess that's in case I missed anything, right? Jesus. Okay. Malokia Depths. Let's see how where this is at sitting at. 90 hours? Oh, almost 90 hours. Okay, right. I hope you all enjoyed Metaphor ReFantazio. I had an amazing time playing this. And I cannot wait to play whatever Atlas game I do next after this. Thank you all for joining me. And ciao for now.